One of the most interesting things about Pokemon is how some of them manage to stand out not just in one form, but in multiple forms. These Pokemon's forms bring their own unique strengths to the table, with some Pokemon even allowing you to change between those forms. So in this video, I'm going to be discussing the best Pokemon competitively that have multiple forms. I'm only considering something an alternate form if it has a different ability, stats, typing, or move pool within the same national Pokedex number, but the Pokemon does not necessarily have to be able to change between those forms. So Paradox Forms and Convergent Forms will not be considered different forms, and I will also be excluding Megas, Gigantamax, any Pokemon that changes form due to an ability, and any other unique condition that happens during battle. If you want an analysis of Pokemon form changing abilities, you can check out the ranking video I did recently. Keep in mind that I will be considering these Pokemon in the context of Scarlet and Violet VGC, although a lot of what I'm saying also applies to singles. With that being said, let's look at the best Pokemon that have multiple good forms. Starting off, we have the Ursaluna Forms. Hisuian Ursaluna is the second evolution in the Teddiursa evolutionary line that was introduced in Pokemon Legends Arceus. It was then given a unique form known as the Blood Moon Beast that you can only catch one of on a quest in the Teal Mask DLC of Scarlet and Violet, and you cannot change between these two forms. These Ursaluna forms have the same ground normal dual typing and are both slow, but that's about where the similarities end. Hisuian Ursaluna has a base stat total of 550 and likes to use the ability Guts, which increases its attack by 50% when inflicted with a non-volatile status condition. Combined with the move Facade and a Flame Orb to get burned, this will basically one-shot anything that's not immune or resisted. It also gets Headlong Rush, which it commonly uses, Earthquake if you want spread damage, Drain Punch if you want more coverage or a recovery move, as well as the Elemental Punches, Play Rough, Close Combat, Heavy Slam, Crunch, Swords Dance, Bulk Up, and even more. It has such a wide move pool and hits so hard, making it a great option in every format since it was made available in Scarlet and Violet. Blood Moon Ursaluna, on the other hand, has a base stat total of 555, and is a special attacker with the signature ability Mind's Eye and the signature move Blood Moon. Mind's Eye allows normal and fighting type moves to be able to hit ghost types, allows Ursaluna to ignore opponents' evasion boosts, and prevents its accuracy from being lowered. Blood Moon is a 140 base power, 100% accurate, special normal type move with the drawback that it cannot be selected consecutively. What makes Blood Moon Ursaluna so good is the combination of its ability and typing. Normal is negated by the ghost type and resisted by steel and rock. With its ability though, it is able to hit ghost types for neutral, and with its ground typing, it is able to hit rock and steel types for super effective. With a minimal drawback on its signature move, access to spread damage with Hyper Voice, special ground stab with Earth Power, priority with Vacuum Wave, recovery with Moonlight, and setup with Calm Mind, Blood Moon Ursaluna is a menace in VGC, especially in Reg H, where it is one of the best Pokemon in the format. For the next entry, we have yet another Pokemon with two forms that's based on a bear that also starts with the letters URS and also has a base stat total of 550, Urshifu. Urshifu is the evolution of Kubfu, and the form it evolves into depends on what item it's exposed to. The Scroll of Darkness causes Kubfu to evolve into Urshifu Single Strike, and the Scroll of Waters causes Kubfu to evolve into Urshifu Rapid Strike. At least that's how it works in Scarlet and Violet. These two forms have the same base stats and ability, and only differ in typing and move pool. Urshifu Single Strike is a fighting dark type with a signature move Wicked Blow, and Urshifu Rapid Strike is a fighting water type with a signature move Surging Strikes. What really makes Urshifu so good though, is the ability and signature move combination. Urshifu's ability, Unseen Fist, as I've ranted about before, allows its contact moves to hit through Protect. Its signature moves Wicked Blow and Surging Strikes are guaranteed critical hit moves. Since Protect is arguably the best defensive tool in VGC, being able to completely ignore it is very useful. Intimidate is also another common way to reduce the damage output of opposing physical attackers, but as long as Urshifu is using its signature move, it will critical hit right through that attack drop. This combination of signature ability and signature move is so potent that I honestly think that Urshifu could have the stats of a Spidops and still be considered viable. Sorry Spidops. In the last VGC regulation that Urshifu was legal, Regulation G, it was the most used Pokemon in the format in its Rapid Strike form, and the 16th most used in its Single Strike form. While Rapid Strike is generally considered the better of the two forms since multiple hits allows it to ignore Focus Sashes, its water moves can be boosted by Rain, and it doesn't have a 4x weakness, both of these forms are still very strong. Next up, we have the Calyrex Forms. Calyrex by itself is pretty terrible, but it has two Rider forms where it combines with either Glastrier or Spectrier using the Reigns of Unity key item to become Ice Rider Calyrex and Shadow Rider Calyrex. These two forms have the same base stat total of 680, the same as strong legendaries like Xerneas, Ho-Oh, and Rayquaza. What really puts these forms over the top though, is their signature ability and signature moves. Calyrex has the ability Unnerve, and Glastrier and Spectrier have the abilities Chilling Neigh and Grim Neigh respectively. Chilling Neigh is just a renamed Moxie, and Grim Neigh is just a special Moxie. When combining with Calyrex, their two abilities become as one, where it just straight up combines the abilities of Chilling Neigh and Unnerve, or Grim Neigh and Unnerve. They also each get signature moves when they combine, both being 120 base power, 100% accurate stab moves whose types match up with the type of the horse. These moves having this high of base power and 100% accuracy is very strong, especially since they are spread moves in double battles. With a speed stat of 150, Shadow Rider is able to outspeed anything in the format except for Regieleki. Ice Rider on the other hand is slow, with a speed stat of 50, but it is built like an absolute tank, allowing it to be great in Trick Room. They both have an attack or special attack stat of 165, causing their signature moves Glacial Lance and Astral Barrage to absolutely decimate opposing teams. The Calyrex forms are undoubtedly the strongest Pokemon available to use in restricted formats, with Ice Rider being the most used restricted Pokemon in Regulation G, and Shadow Rider being the second, followed by Miraidon and Terapagos. Next up, we have the Landorus Forms. Landorus is a member of the Forces of Nature, the legendary quartet that all have an incarnate form and a Therian form. They all change forms when exposed to the key item Reveal Glass, where they can change back and forth as much as they want outside of battle. Landorus is really the only one out of the four that sees use with both of its forms though, at least in the competitive format of VGC, which is the focus of this video. Even in singles, Landorus is still probably the best of the genies that sees use with both of its forms. Anyway, Landorus Incarnate has honestly not been used that much over Landorus Therian previously, but in Scarlet and Violet, the Incarnate form is just as good, if not better than the Therian form. Landorus Incarnate likes to use the ability Sheer Force, which increases the base power of moves with a secondary effect by 30% while removing those secondary effects. While its physical attack is higher, it generally likes to function as a special attacker, something that is very common among Mons that get Sheer Force. This is just because there are generally better options for special attacking moves with secondary effects than physical attacking moves with secondary effects. In Landorus Incarnate's case, it generally likes to use Earth Power or its signature move Sandsear Storm for ground stab, and coverage moves like Sludge Bomb and Psychic. If you want to go physical, its best options are probably Crunch and Rock Slide. With a no drawback Life Orb because of Sheer Force, Landorus Incarnate outputs massive amounts of damage with decent coverage options. Landorus Therian, on the other hand, is almost exclusively a physical attacker with its massive 145 base attack, although it has been seen using mixed attacking sets. Its Intimidate ability is great for damage control, and it is notorious for spamming Rock Slide and Earthquake while holding a choice item. Outside of choice sets with Rock Slide spam, Assault Vest is probably its next best option, as it can use moves like U-Turn, Stomping Tantrum, and Crunch as well. Lastly, we have the Ogerpon Forms. Ogerpon is another legendary Pokemon with multiple forms, and the only one on this list with more than 3 forms. Ogerpon changes form depending on what mask it wears, except for its Teal Mask form, which still wears the Teal Mask in its artwork and in-game sprite design, but doesn't actually hold the Teal Mask item, as it is not a held item, but rather a key item. In this form, it is a pure grass type with a grass type signature move, Ivy Cudgel. It has the ability Defiant that changes to Embody Aspect when terastallized, where its speed will be increased by 1 stage. For the 3 mask held item forms, they do not change Ogerpon's stats, but they do give Ogerpon an additional type, change the type of Ivy Cudgel, grant a different ability, grant a 20% boost to its attack, and changes the stat that is increased from Embody Aspect. I think most people would agree that the Teal Mask form is the worst, but really all of these forms are fantastic. With these forms and Ogerpon's move pool, it is incredibly versatile. You could go offensive with Ivy Cudgel, Horn Leech, Wood Hammer, or Grassy Glide, or go defensive with Follow Me, Encore, Spiky Shield, or Taunt. Most people tend to use a mix of both though, and then choose whichever ability and type of coverage you want for Ivy Cudgel since it changes type. Since there's literally no widely distributed 100% accurate physical rock type move with a base power higher than 50 in the game, rock type Ivy Cudgel on Ogerpon Cornerstone is incredibly valuable. It really just goes to show how strong the rock type is offensively, something that we never really get to see with how few good rock type moves there are in the game. The attack boost from Ogerpon Hearthflame's Terrasilize form makes it a huge offensive threat, and Water Absorb on Ogerpon Wellspring makes it a great wall against water types like Urshifu Rapid Strike. And those are the best competitive Pokemon with multiple forms. Let me know in the comments if you disagree with any of my reasonings, or feel that I missed any. I know this will probably come up in the comments if I didn't mention it somewhere, but just know that I intentionally decided to exclude Rotom from the list because it has not been that great in Scarlet and Violet VGC, which is the focus of this video. It has definitely seen use with multiple different forms in past generations though, so I could understand if some of you would have wanted me to include it here. Anyway, if you want to support me and my channel, the best way to do so is just by leaving a nice comment. You can also click the join button and become a member, and I made the cost as low as possible at 99 cents. Members get perks such as early video access and shoutouts, but other than that, I don't have any other perks for members, so please don't feel obligated at all to join unless you really want to support me and you are financially capable of doing so. Likes are also one of the ways in which YouTube determines if a video should be passed around to more people, so if you feel that this video deserves it, I would appreciate it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.